Well, you see, here's one of them times telling you. Look, I made 2 friends in 10 months. And I don't mean over the internet or YouTube friends. I mean, I made 2 friends in 10 months. Okay? I've got 1 friend where I live. And I won't tell you who he is or nothing else about him. But I trust him. Okay? I've got another friend. He lives, about 5 states away. But I trust him. Well, what are you trying to tell me, in time? Well, look, do I know everything about these 2 friends? No, I don't, but I know enough about them. Just by a connection. And where we connect with each other, that I trust him with my life. I trust this other one with my life. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that if we're in the trenches and the doo-doo hits the fan, that by gosh, you know what? I'd be there for him, he'd be there for me. And we'd be there for each other. So having said that, you know, when I thought about just shutting this site down and everything and just, you know, the hell with it, and, you know, I got to tell you, I mean, you go to thinking about it, and I talked to another friend of mine, and I won't tell you where he's from, but he's a pretty smart character, and they already know my friggin' IP address. They know where I'm at. So why quit? They know where I'm at. My friggin' name and address, but one thing they didn't think about is I don't live there anymore, so I would do it if I was backslid enough. I'd do it like this. Up yours, buddy. I don't live there anymore. Big friggin' deal. But anyway, we won't get into that, but let's move back to the things that are at hand. In planning crowd control, civil disturbance, planners must decide what data is needed to develop, watch, threat assessments. The decision will be based on a multitude of resources and information. Now, I want you to listen to the next part. I'll try to read on through and not elaborate as much and just let you hear the information. Standard postures, tactical standing operation procedures. And I know some of you say, well, how can you get that information? How did you get that? Look. See what it says? Okay? This ain't a friggin' game. Get your head out of the sand. Get your butt back off of Mars. Okay? Come back down to Earth and let's get real. Okay? Says within squad, platoon, companies, sheriff's department, state patrols, whatever. Alright. Some examples as follows. Now here we go. Standard operating procedures, postures, tactical standing operations. Okay, listen up. Martin, listen up. Listen up, Scuba Man. Listen up, you guys out there, Incher Man. Listen up. Choose M9 pistol for extraction and apprehension teams. The use of a long weapon, for example, M16, M203, M4, with 12-gauge shotgun. Apply NL munitions for crowd dispersion. Capability also recommended especially for Overwatch personnel. NL munition, non-lethal. Rubber bullets, okay? That would be for crowd control, things of this nature, okay? Add non-standard shotguns, stuff like that for NL capabilities. For greater than NL non-lethal, okay? Note, shotgun is used to protect the M203 gunner as he reloads. Bingo. The shotgun, when you shoot the shotgun, as I've showed you shotgun after shotgun, shotgun when it comes out, they have buckshot or whatever in it, or whatever rounds they have. I've got some bolos. If you don't know what a bolo is a round that has a big projectile in the front, a cable hooked to it, another projectile in the back before it gets to the wadding. I've got bolos. So when it comes out of that weapon, and God have mercy on the person on the receiving end of that. I've got them too. Big deal. Like I said, I've studied them for years. I know their tactics. I don't know them all, but I know a bunch of them. In other words, the demoralizing wound that will hit that person will tear through them and put such a big chunk out of them, that person that is with them will think about turning and tucking his tail and running rather than staying for the fight. That's why they have the things they have, you see. Let's move on. Shotgun used to protect the M203 gunner. And the M203 is an AR-15 that has a tear gas thing under it, okay? I mean, that's just putting it plain, redneck terms, okay? Now, armed soldiers in the front line for the formation with their standard weapon. If the weapon is a long weapon, it should be carried across the back, left or vice versa, muzzle and ensure the weapon is cleared. Anyway, let's move on from that crap. Okay, balance the mix of weapons and munitions according to the mission. Enemy terrain, troops, time available, civilian considerations, etc., etc. I'll read that again, then I'll expand on this a minute. Alright, listen to me, American Patriot. They're telling their tactical groups to balance the mix of weapons, munitions according to the mission. According to the enemy, according to the terrain, according to the amount of troops, time available, and civilian considerations. Okay. Now, having said that, boy, I'm going to try to be careful on this. God have mercy on my soul. Okay. Now, you know good and well you can't beat a tank. Which you can, but there's no way in hell I'm going to tell you how to on this thing and get shut down and have to fight sooner than I do. I'll put it like that. But as far as once this thing gets too heavy, and you have no other alternative than to save your nation and fight for the American people and your family, we should be able to balance the weapons in our groups. We should be able to balance and have the right amount of munitions according to what we're going to do in guerrilla warfare. Analyze the mission before we ever set out on it. Be able to adapt and change strategies in the middle of that mission. Be able to be unseen, unheard, until it's too late. Be able to know the time we have available to do our mission and back it up from the time we think we have and scratch that off and delete that down to a way shorter time period to prevent casualties and things of this nature, to prevent the detection by the enemy. And consider and understand that when the tactical moves are made, that we make sure that nobody that is an American patriot or American citizen was ever to be hurt or bothered that don't know anything about what's going on. See, they have their tactics, and we should have ours. You see. I know some of you think I'm nuts for telling you this, but that's fine. This is the way I weed out who's real and who ain't. When I get your negative comments about these videos, I'll know who the hell you are. It's just that simple. Establish command relations to determine who has or gives the authority to fire NL munitions, non-lethal. Okay? You must understand something. The thing about the American Patriot is we don't have that option when it comes down to what's coming. Nothing we have will be non-lethal. Other than tasers. I mean, but big deal, you know. But having said that, let's move on. Maximize the distance barriers between the crowd and the formations using munitions to create a standoff distance. Alright? Now, they want to maximize in crowd control and disturbance, whether it be an election or whatever, or economic collapse. Now, they're talking about dealing with people right here that are not armed, other than with a friggin' bullhorn and waving a friggin' flag and saying, you know, Bush be impeached. You know, they did that for years. It got them nothing. And I do agree with that, but I knew they wasn't going to impeach him. But, you know, we're in a different realm now, where Bush set it up, Obama will implement it and bring it to pass. He will be the fall guy for what's coming. I see I'm running out of time. Let's do another one. I'll be back.